Nowadays, the fashion is about AI and Copilot. You know that. But do you know what is the fundamental requirement for Copilot to work? Your data has to be on cloud. And when you say cloud in Microsoft context, it's OneDrive. OneDrive has been there for a long time, but you'll be surprised to know that is it being used wholeheartedly by people? No. There are still concerns, inhibitions, partial use. So I thought, why not create a OneDrive best practices video? So there we are. The first best practice of OneDrive is please use OneDrive. Now, you may see why. Because everyone seems to have OneDrive. And remember, I'm going to talk about the corporate OneDrive for business. I am not talking about OneDrive personal. Of course, most of the things will apply there as well. But this video is about OneDrive for business. So we are talking about business data, corporate data, sensitive data. And because it is corporate sensitive and all that, many people, in spite of having OneDrive, don't put their files on OneDrive. So my first question to any customer, any session is, if I create a new file right now, is it guaranteed going to go to OneDrive? Or I'm going to think, should I put it on local drive or OneDrive? If you have that question in mind, that means you have not understood the purpose of OneDrive. So let me clarify that first. To illustrate this point, I'm going to show you a demo. Very quick one. I create a file in Word. Put some random data right now. File save as in front of you. I am storing it on OneDrive. The name of the file is OneDrive demo. File saved. Now question for you. Where is this file right now? Almost 100% of people give me the wrong answer. Everyone says the file is on OneDrive, and that is absolutely wrong. Why is it wrong? Because the file is not gone to OneDrive yet. It is on my local drive. It will go to OneDrive. But the thing to understand is the file will always be there on your local drive exactly as before. So nothing is taken away from you. The file is available to you to even edit offline. In addition to it, it is going to OneDrive, and now we will see the benefits of that. Next one. People are still not convinced about what is that OneDrive, who can see my files. So that's another question. Many people don't ask it, is there in your mind. So let me answer it. When you put a file on OneDrive, who can see it? One person, that is you. And that is why it is called OneDrive. In fact, the reason it is called OneDrive, there are many ones there. One person, one place, one copy, 1 terabyte, and one person can see it. So OneDrive. Remember that. Now, does it always mean it is one person? No. On day one, when you create the file one person, you decide whom to share it with. Now, in corporate context, there is another common worry. If a person leaves, what happens to those files? Don't worry. Your IT team has a governance model. They will reassign those files to manager or the new person who joins. But for all practical purposes, one person. Having said that, also remember, these are not really your files. These are corporate files. So your corporate IT, compliance team, security team may have access to it depending on what policies you have defined. Next one is which files should go to OneDrive. You already have lots of files locally. Eventually they should go to OneDrive maybe, but on day one, please do not put all old files into OneDrive because that's going to take inordinate amount of time. How much time? Depends on the file size and the bandwidth. It can take days, week, month, and that is very disgusting and depressing. Don't do that. What should you do? Two kinds of files we have, new files and old files. All new files absolutely deserve to be on OneDrive, no questions asked. Now don't put it in root folder, put folder structure. Now that folder structure should ideally match what you have on local drive because you already have some habit-based folder structure which is working for you. So just replicate it there. New files go to OneDrive. Old files, only the active files or folders go to OneDrive. Now what is an active file? You opened a local file, that means you need it. That's an active file. Now, if you have an active file, save it on OneDrive. If it's a folder, again, move it to OneDrive. Now, there is another important thing you must absolutely understand. If you opened a local file and then as soon as you opened it, you saved it to OneDrive, what just happened? The local copy is not going away. The local copy is still there. So, remember to delete that local copy. Otherwise, what will happen? You will have one OneDrive sync copy locally plus the local copy. And now if you go to the file open menu, you will see the same file twice. One is local, one is from OneDrive folder. And you may not notice it. You may edit this file one day, that file another day. And then later on you will say, oh, my changes are lost. And then you will say, OneDrive doesn't work. No, OneDrive is working. you confused yourself in the process. Anyway, the copy of that file is going to be there in OneDrive folder, so nothing is lost, but having two copies is confusing. So avoid that confusion. Alright, now at some point of time, you will have to share this file with others. The natural tendency is go to email, attach the file. Don't do that, because when you go to attach a cloud file, it will ask you, do you want to send it as attachment or link? And most people have seen just click on the attachment because they are used to it. So avoid that confusion. Don't go to Outlook to share the file. In Word, Excel, PowerPoint itself, top right there is what? Share button. Click on the button. Understand this dialog very clearly. I have a separate video on this because this dialog is going to be central to all kinds of collaboration you are going to do in Microsoft platform. So what is this dialog trying to tell you? It is similar to email because eventually an email will go with a link to the file. Now what is it asking? Whom are you sending it to? So you put email IDs. What can that person do? Either edit or read only. And if it is read only, you can even block download and can have an expiry date for that. So once you understand the nuances of this, life is set. This dialog is common whether you do it from Word or Excel or PowerPoint or File Explorer or even mobile phone or browser. It's a unified dialog. Okay. So sharing files always as links. Now another very important thing which I've seen almost all customers doing that mistake, they block external sharing. What is the benefit of sharing a link? The file remains one. Whether there are 2 people or 20 people, everyone's changes are getting merged, isn't it? That is saving you the trouble of copy paste. So now if those people are outside the organization, even they should get the benefit and you should get the benefit. But most customers block external sharing. So internally I'm sending links, I'm benefiting, but external parties I'm sending copies, and then copy pasting defeats the purpose. So not only enable, but encourage external sharing. That is even better from security point of view. I have a detailed video for that as well. Now, one very confusing topic is save as. Now you'll say, what is confusing? Well, I have a file. I intend to make some changes to it, but I don't want the original file touched. So I want to save it as. Fair enough. Now in traditional method, you open the file, make changes and save as. In OneDrive, if you open a file, make changes and save as, the original file changes because OneDrive has auto save. Everything you do is getting auto saved. So if you intend to save as, open the file, first save as and then do changes. It's simple, but a very common confusion which is in the market. One common requirement we have is to gather files from people. It could be quotations for an RFP or it could be resumes, whatever it is. Now, when you know the target audience and you want to get files from them, the traditional way is to expect them to send a mail to you, then it will come to email and then attachment, detach the attachment, put it in a folder. All that is absolutely not required. There is a built-in feature in OneDrive called request files and many people don't know about it. Understand the feature well. Create a folder for those files, right click on the folder and say request files. Give it a reason, resume, RFP, some item code, whatever it is. Now click next, it will create a link. Send that link to the intended parties. When they click on the link, they can upload a file. The name is also captured. Once they upload the file, they can't see the file, they can't edit the file, they can't see other files which are in the folder. It's watertight. So gather the files from people and then when the job is finished, again go there, edit the links and delete that link. So that link no longer works. This is the best way to gather files from an intended target audience without involving any kind of email. Now let's talk about folders. However compelling it is, please do not store files in the root folder. You have done that in the local drive and it's a painful thing. So always create folders and put files under folders. Yes, you can have folders under folders exactly like you have on your local drive. But now that we are moving files from local drive to OneDrive, take it as an opportunity to reorganize your folder structure and make it more logical and simple. And one more thing about folders, don't give cryptic names because you'll forget what they are. Don't give too long a name because there is a limit on file path length as well. Now, when files are there, you are going to delete some files. Where do those files go when you delete? Many people don't understand. So I have a laptop, the file is synced to OneDrive. When I delete it, it will go to my laptop recycle bin like before. No problem. But remember, OneDrive also has a recycle bin. OneDrive for Business I'm talking about. There the file stays for 93 days. Don't ask me why 93, but that's the number as of today. Now, if you wake up after 93 days, then what happens? Don't worry, at administrator level, at IT level, there is another recycle bin again for 93 days. Now, if you wake up after that, then what happens? Don't worry, there is another 14 days cooling period. And if you wake up after that, nobody can help you. So, total 200 days you have to wake up and realize, oh, I deleted a file. And if you wake up after that, then anyway, you don't deserve to get the file, right? Now, because our entire mindset is changing, earlier we were sending attachment, people change the file, come back to me. Now it's one file. Everyone is changing there. So the obvious insecurity, worry, concern is who changed what. Now that is something which is not under OneDrive's control. Remember, yes, I have a file on OneDrive, but the file is not being edited by OneDrive. It is being edited by Word or Excel or PowerPoint or Photoshop or CorelDRAW, whatever it is. So that software which is used to edit the file should have the capability of keeping track of who changed what, which is not OneDrive's job. OneDrive is a file system, not a file editing system. So in simple terms, in Word, when you say permissions, there are 3 permissions: read, edit, and review. Review means track changes. So we already know how to use track changes in Word. Not only will it work exactly the way it was working before, everyone's track changes will automatically merge. So you can still know who changed what when. In Excel, it's even better. You don't have to enable anything. It's already on. In Excel, browser version and the desktop version, if it is Office 365 version of Excel, right click on any cell and say show changes. It'll give you an audit trail for 3 days. In fact, if you use track changes in Word, I have a very comprehensive video about track changes and how to manage it. You will be amazed as to what you have been missing in track changes. Have a look at that video. And of course, I have a similar video for Excel track changes as well. So what happens in PowerPoint? It doesn't have track changes per se, but because the file is in a single place, someone else edited it, you opened the file, it will actually highlight changes by person. Now, one more misconception about OneDrive is that it works very well with Microsoft files. It integrates very well with Word, Excel, PowerPoint, obviously, but automatic saving, automatic versioning, all these features which I am talking about are not exclusive to Microsoft files. Any kind of file works on OneDrive the same way. The editing part changes, but the core file handling is same for all kinds of files. In fact, OneDrive has one special feature which I was not going to cover, but in this I'll tell you. Many a times you have, say, a AutoCAD file or a CorelDRAW file or a DICOM file. All those files, you can see thumbnails directly in OneDrive even if you don't have the software installed. That's a very nice. Around 200 types of files, OneDrive can show you thumbnails. Now let's talk about sharing. We have already seen how to share, but soon you are going to forget what you have shared with whom. Same thing, do you remember how many attachments you have sent in live? No. But here you have an opportunity because you don't have to go to email and search. You go to OneDrive. By default, it will show you My Files, but there is a shared section. In that shared section, there is a separate area called File Shared by Me. You should go there. Maybe you have never gone there. You should go there periodically and just do a quick eyeballing audit. Why? Because you may have shared some files. Those files don't need to be shared any longer. You can stop sharing quickly. Click on the file and say delete the link or stop sharing. That way, unnecessary security exposure is reduced. Do this on a weekly or monthly basis depending on the volume of files and share it. When you receive a file shared by others, typically you're going to get a mail with a link. Now, after a few months, if you want to find that file, natural tendency is go to email and search for it. There is no need to do that. Do you remember whether it was a Word, Excel or PowerPoint file? Then go to Word, Excel, PowerPoint. In File Open itself, there is Shared with Me, and most probably you will find the file there. If you don't remember the type of file, then go to OneDrive, Shared with Me, and there you will find the file. No need to search in email. Oh, one more problem with files which are shared on email as a link. The link opens in browser. You desperately don't want that to happen. Immediately you go to browser, and then many people don't know how do I open it in desktop. So there is editing drop down and then say desktop, but that's a two-step process. If you want the links to directly open in Word, Excel or PowerPoint, there is a setting in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, everywhere. So I'm going to show you the Outlook setting because that's most natural. Go to File, Options, this setting. then files will open directly in the correct app. When you share a file in Teams chat, do you know it goes to OneDrive? It's important to understand. So you're in a Teams chat, you upload a local file, it's actually going to go to OneDrive. And before you click on send, look at that thing which is written below. Most probably by default, the permission will be people in the chat can view. Is that why you're putting the file? Most probably not. You want people in the chat to edit the file. So open the drop down, choose people in this chat, give edit permission, then send the file. So you get all the benefits of OneDrive. So remember, Teams chat file sharing is based on OneDrive. Now when you go to OneDrive folder in your desktop, you will see multiple icons. It's important to understand the meaning, and only when you do that, you will be able to use it properly. Why? Because remember, OneDrive has 1 TB or up to 5 TB space, whereas your local drive will never have such large space. So you need to optimize the space usage on the local machine. This icon means synchronizing. When it synchronizes, it will have a tick mark. Tick mark means the file is there locally and on the cloud. Easy. When there is a cloud icon, what does that mean? There is only a local file name. There is no file locally. It's not occupying any space. The file is only on cloud. That's why it's called a cloud-only file or online file. What is the practical significance? If you're offline and if you see a file with cloud icon, you cannot open it. Yes. So now look at this practically. You're intending to go offline, maybe to a remote site where construction is going on, or you're going on a long flight and you have the intention of editing some files. So now you're in a plane, now you see cloud icon, that's useless because you can't double click, there is no internet. So remember, cloud file will open when you double click on it if you're connected. So what do? While you're at the airport, while you have internet connectivity, select those files. You don't have to double click all of them. Select all of them, right click on them and say always keep on this device. Now it will download it while you have internet. Now you can work offline. And these files get a white tick mark just to differentiate them from the other which is green tick mark. The other is important. You have a big folder, a project is going on, lots of files are there. So all the files are local tick mark. But now the project is over. You don't need those files on a day-to-day basis and that's occupying 20 GB on my local drive. I don't want them. Please don't delete them. That will delete it from OneDrive also. It has happened. You right click on that folder or a set of folders and say free up space. Now what happens? Earlier this was taking this much space. Now on the local drive is taking 0 space, but the files are safe on OneDrive. So that's called files on demand. Cloud file, double click, opens. That's file on demand. And the last thing I want to talk about is what happens to Teams files. So remember, when you create a team in Teams and put files there, nothing is going from your OneDrive. Your OneDrive quota is separate. So Teams storage is different, OneDrive storage is different. Okay. Now, if you have files on Teams and you want to work on those files offline exactly the way we work on OneDrive files, that is not possible by default because OneDrive files get synced automatically. Teams files do not get synced automatically. But it's a good idea to sync those on demand. So now you have a team and you want to work on those files, how to sync team files. Go to Teams, go to General tab. Doesn't matter how many other tabs you have, still go to General tab. In General tab, go to Files tab. There you will see the word General and before that you will see the word Documents. Click on Documents first, then there is a sync button. Click that button, it will show you a dialog, let it happen, and now that folder, the entire structure of that team, including all the channels and files associated with it, will sync to your local drive. Now where do you see them? OneDrive is OneDrive-company name. You will not see those files there. You will have a separate folder which is only the company name. Under that you will see the team name and under that you will see all the Teams files. Now you will say Teams files are large, it's going to occupy space. No, obviously that has been thought of. All the Teams files are synced as cloud only. That means they don't occupy any space, but when you want it, you double click, edit offline and it will sync. So best of both worlds. I am sure even if you have been using OneDrive extensively, you must have found something useful. Did I miss something? I will be happy to create another video for that. Did you find something useful? Put it in comments. And very important, OneDrive teams are part of collaboration. Only you knowing it is not enough. People around you have to know this. So those people who have not been using OneDrive and telling you, no, I don't understand this, send me a attachment, show them this video and everyone's life becomes better. So like, share, subscribe. I'm sure you already do. There is a thanks button also. Have a look at that. Before you go, I want you to see these two videos. One is about how to exactly share files on OneDrive, and there is another one called contextual sharing, which I didn't mention today in this video, but it's a brilliant way of sharing files. So that's it for now. Thank you.